Hi, my name is Kurt Volker. I'm the Executive Director of the McCain Institute for International Leadership, and I'm just back in Washington from Tbilisi, Georgia, where we held our 5th Annual Tbilisi International Conference. This conference brings together the strongest supporters of Georgia in the United States to Tbilisi for continuing dialogue about Georgia's progress as an emerging democracy and its aspirations to join Euro-Atlantic institutions. An important part of this conference is that we also bring West Europeans and Central European leaders to Georgia as well. And this year, for example, we had the former Secretary General of NATO, Anders Fogh Rasmussen, and also the Foreign Minister of Lithuania, Linas Linkevičius. The McCain Institute is nonpartisan and non-political. We represent a diversity of voices and try to give them a civil, open space to have those voices heard. These are values that John McCain represented himself. John McCain was a die-hard supporter of Georgia. He visited the country several times. He visited the occupation line several times. When Georgia was invaded by Russia in 2008, he said that we are all Georgians now. And at the McCain Institute, it's our objective to carry that legacy forward and show that strong support for Georgia. Indeed, in this conference, we were able to bring an international delegation to Odessa to see the occupation line up close firsthand. We were also delighted that Mrs. Cindy McCain was able to attend our conference this year and carry on that legacy of support of the McCain family for Georgia. The Trump administration was well represented by Assistant Secretary of State Phil Reker. He came at the behest of Secretary of State Pompeo, also by representatives of the Pentagon and other branches of the U.S. government. At the same time, we had voices from across the full political spectrum in the United States to showcase that diversity that's so important to us. It's important that Georgians understand that support for Georgia in the United States is bipartisan. There's no division over this between the executive branch, the Congress, Democrats, Republicans. There is strong support for Georgia and also strong support for Georgia continuing to develop its democratic institutions. Also important at the conference is that we had great diversity from Georgian society as well. We were very pleased that the Speaker of the Parliament, Archil Talakradze, was able to speak at the conference. Also, the President of the Republic, President Zorabishvili, hosted a reception for the participants and also gave a terrific speech at the Presidential Palace. We also had representatives of the opposition, of civil society, and the media, and it's our objective to provide an open and civil space where people of different views can meet and discuss with international supporters as well the directions of the country, the future of the country, and how to support Georgia's transatlantic aspirations. One key theme that the McCain Institute has been promoting over the past several weeks is the need for civility in political discourse. We believe this is important in the United States, and we launched a public campaign called #ActsOfCivility. Likewise, in Georgia, civil political discourse is essential, and part of our conference is aimed at creating a space for that kind of discourse as well. We had over 700 people attend this conference and speakers representing a diversity of views from the government, from the opposition, and so forth. And we think that creating that environment is tremendously important. We had one disturbing incident at the conference when a member of parliament brought along a journalist as well and disrupted the proceedings by shouting, by pushing people, and by not allowing the conference to go forward in a normal way. It was very unfortunate, and indeed it was tragic that our local partner, Nino Yevgenidze, the director of the Economic Policy Research Center, was physically injured as a result of the pushing and shoving involving this journalist. That is entirely unacceptable to see those kinds of physical pressures. After this individual was escorted out of the conference, of course, the member of parliament was invited back in, and she was able to address the conference from the floor and ask a question, as is normal in any civilized, normal conference setting. It is disappointing, but not surprising, that this great event for advancing Georgia's transatlantic relationships was later the subject of a fake news attack that was aired on a major Georgian television station. It only underscores the challenges that Georgia continues to face from Russian aggression and Russian propaganda inside the country. That's why it's so important that we're able to bring so many supporters of Georgia from all spectrums, all political views, across the aisle in the United States and within Georgia as well, to work together on strengthening Georgia's democracy and on supporting Georgia's transatlantic aspirations. Thank you.